my guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off The Script. I am JD from New York, and I'm bringing you the latest in WWE news and rumors. Is Dominic Dijakovic the real leader of Retribution? If you're asking Aleister Black, that doesn't seem to be the case. He was on Raw Talk being interviewed by Charlie Caruso and R-Truth, and he thinks there is another man on the WWE Raw roster who's leading Retribution. I have the clip queued up. Roll it.
So, I mean, this has spilled over into several different arenas, if you will. I mean, even Raw Underground, you two met face-to-face. There was no winner coming out of this match. At what point does this get put to rest? What twists, what turns is this going to take? Like, what's happening here? It just seems like a lot. Seems like a lot of emotion.
I was expecting it to happen tonight, but then, with the light flickered, I think maybe, if those lights didn't flicker, if Retribution didn't get themselves involved, I would have had Kevin, and maybe that would have been the end. However, I feel like now I need to get answers from Kevin, because maybe he just revealed something about himself.
Like what?
Well, maybe he's part of Retribution.
Don't say that. You putting bad grandma out there, man.
I mean, who's? You can't say that he's wrong.
You were there, right?
I was around there.
You saw what happened.
I heard about it.
Okay. So you're telling me that Retribution's been causing all this ruckus, all this chaos, continuously over the past few weeks. And happened to be as when I'm fighting KO, that the lights flicker, which is clearly Retribution.
Yes.
And that has nothing to do with KO.
Well, but they've also interfered in other matches, like at the end of tonight.
Yes.
But why at the moment that I nearly had him? Why then? Too much of a coincidence. So I have to get those answers from Kevin. So no, I can't let it rest.
I think you jumping to conclusions, man. You might be jumping to conclusions.
Well, maybe I am, but I'll find out sooner or later.
And how do you plan on doing that?
Well,
beating the crap out of Kevin?
Maybe confronting Kevin. Maybe I'll DM him on Instagram. Maybe I don't care. I'm going to find Kevin and I want my answers.
Now, I do not believe Kevin Owens is the leader of Retribution. In fact, I think Retribution would be better off with Kevin Owens as their leader, legitimately. But I don't think KO is going to be leading Retribution, even though he has every reason to be a part of Retribution, just based off what we understand and what we know they stand for. He has every reason to be there, and I think it would be a great look for him to lead a group of guys, men and women, like Retribution. Now, Aleister Black, I don't know where the direction is with Aleister Black on Monday Night Raw. If you watched Raw or if you watched Raw Talk, he's got this bandage, he's got new black leather pants, he's got a legitimate black eyeball. There were reports that Vince McMahon said Aleister Black was missing something. Apparently, that is exactly what Vince McMahon had in mind for Aleister Black. No direction and a black eyeball selling the attack from Seth Rollins and the Greater Good a couple of months back. What an awful, awful year for Aleister Black. This guy was going to be heralded as the future of WWE, one of the biggest pieces to this company's future, a possible WWE champion, a possible WrestleMania main eventer. And look at what they have withered him down to. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. They put him on Raw Underground, it amounts to nothing. Raw Underground in itself is a waste of fucking time. Then they put him in a match with Kevin Owens, and he loses. Kevin Owens himself needs a win. Aleister Black himself needs a win. There's no winner there. You can't have Black and Owens win when both of them need wins. Why book the match? Why book the match? Then I read that Bruce Pritchard is not a fan of Aleister Black, even though we read reports that Vince McMahon was a fan of Aleister Black, and he was looking for that one thing that he felt Aleister Black was missing. Now Bruce Pritchard is not a fan of Black, Garza, Andrade, Humberto, and anybody else that Paul Heyman wanted to push on Monday Night Raw when he was in charge as executive director. Why? I don't know. Maybe he's got a thing against Europeans. I don't know. But Bruce Pritchard doesn't like any one of those guys. He doesn't like Aleister Black. He goes and tells Vince McMahon that he doesn't like Aleister Black. In turn, Vince McMahon listens to Bruce Pritchard because Bruce Pritchard is Vince McMahon's #1 ball tickler. That's all it is. What a fucking disgrace, man. At the end of the year, at the end of the fucking fiscal year, there will be nobody left to push on Monday Night Raw because they would have buried everybody. Absolutely disgusting is WWE management and their handling of talent on Monday Night Raw. Now, I got another report about Retribution being unmasked. The unmasking of Retribution. When is that going to happen? Because people have been asking, people think that this storyline is going on for far too long. I finally have the answer, and Dave Meltzer seems to have the answer as well. He's backing up a Sportskeeda report, and it's said to be believed that the group won't be revealing their identities until close to the Survivor Series at the end of November, even though we pretty much already know who they are. Now, of course, this is WWE, and keeping them masked could allow WWE to make changes and pretend it was always supposed to be like that. It hasn't been one of the most inspiring debuts for a group or a new faction in recent years, and it hasn't helped that there are no fans to react to the chaos that they seem to be causing on Monday Night Raw, and the general social media reaction is pretty negative regarding Retribution. They have more go-away heat than actual legit heat than anything else, and WWE is hoping that this changes. Probably not. By the way, that the show suck. They hope that this will go away by the time Survivor Series rolls around. Now, I don't know why you want to wait that long to unmask these guys. I really don't know why you want to wait that long at all, but they need to do something now. They need to do something now to keep people's interest. They need to pop some interest in the community. Unmask 1, unmask 2, but keep the leader masked while all of this is going on. Have everybody else surrounding the leader kind of fall one by one, leading to a Survivor Series match. All 5 of Retribution's members versus a Drew McIntyre, a Keith Lee, Rey Mysterio, and maybe a Street Profits, because those are all the men that they've gone and attacked on Monday Night Raw. I don't know what WWE has planned, but all I know is that it ain't looking good on Monday night. And Retribution, the fact that WWE is waiting so long for them to go unmasked, I don't think anybody's going to be left having any sort of interest in Retribution by the time Survivor Series rolls around. But we will see. I want to give it some chance. I want to give it some hope. But this is WWE Monday Night Raw at the end of the day, folks. What do you expect to have happen? The big news of the week so far is Jeff Hardy re-signing foolishly with the WWE. He was recently interviewed by BT Sport, and he let something spill in this online interview. Now, somebody asked him about theme music. He said his old theme music is coming back, and then he said the old theme music being brought back was a part of him re-signing with the WWE. I got the clip queued up. You guys make a determination for yourself. Roll it.
And no more words. Like when we do get in front of a crowd again, that was a part of me re-signing. I was like, if we get back in front of people again, I would like to use no more words again because I know y'all own it. And so that was the deal for me re-signing. So that's going to be the ticket, man. We get back in front of crowds. That's going to boost me even more to hear that music again, because I think the Hardy Boys music is just for Matt and Jeff Hardy, not Jeff Hardy.
Now, we don't know how long Jeff Hardy has signed for, if he even re-signed with the WWE. We don't know when he signed. We don't know what time period he's talking about by that 10-second, 15-second clip. But everybody and their mother in the community was reporting that Jeff Hardy re-signed with the WWE. So Dave Meltzer talked about this with Bryan Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Live after Monday Night Raw, and it was brought up. And Meltzer says this, and I quote, "Yeah, so that pretty much seals the deal. The Hardy Boys as a tag team. I don't want to say never, but we're probably talking years. I don't know if it's a 3 or 5 year deal, but generally WWE contracts these days are all 5-year deals, so that's a long, long time. So he's not going anywhere. His contract was coming due for a couple of months. The Hardy Boys contracts started on the same day and were supposed to end on the same day. But what had happened was they tacked so much time from Jeff's injuries on that there was a long gap between the ending of both men's contracts. There was actually some time tacked on to Matt's too, but Jeff was obviously injured a lot more, and then obviously with the drug issues as well, which Meltzer did not mention here, in the last couple of years, so he had more time tacked on to his contract. End quote. We don't know if it's 3, we don't know if it's 5. All we know is, would WWE go out there and really make a major play to keep Jeff Hardy on the current WWE roster just to keep him away from AEW and rejoining his brother over in All Elite Wrestling? Absolutely. And I think at the end of the day, it really shouldn't matter to each and every one of us watching SmackDown on Friday night, whether he stays on SmackDown, whether he gets drafted or traded to Monday Night Raw with the shakeup. We don't know. At the end of the day, I think all we should be concerned with is that Jeff is healthy, Jeff is happy, and Jeff is providing for his family. That is it. So I don't think it's any of our concern where he goes, where he stays, if he goes to join Matt, if he stays with WWE. At the end of the day, at least we aren't looking at a Jeff Hardy mugshot and reading another story about him doing something ridiculous. So I'm glad everything is seemingly okay with Jeff Hardy right now. But how many of you are upset that Jeff Hardy potentially is re-signed with the WWE and will not be joining Matt Hardy in All Elite Wrestling? Sound off in the comments below and let me know what you think of Jeff Hardy. And no more words coming back as part of his act on SmackDown on Fox. Speaking of contracts, it seems that Jeff Hardy has re-signed with the WWE, but there's one major superstar who's seemingly not coming back to the WWE when his contract is up. As per WrestleVotes, they tweeted out yesterday, and I quote, look at this tweet. It says, I can't reveal the name, as that's just not smart business, but I can very confidently say that a certain WWE talent has decided to not re-sign with the company once their current deal expires. End quote. Now, nobody knows who this superstar is. It's anybody's guess as to who this contract is. But at the end of the day, it could legitimately be anybody. I brought up several possible names on Off The Script on my Monday Night Raw review. Samoa Joe was not on commentary. I don't think he has a contract here, but he was not on commentary. That obviously got people talking. But then again, Tom Phillips was again not on the show for a second week in a row, so that very well may be, in both cases, something COVID-19 related. It could be Ali. Ali's on Twitter every fucking week complaining that he's been misused and miscast and they're not using him, and he's on Main Event every single week. It could be Ricochet. It could be Humberto. It could be Andrade. It could be Garza. It could be any one of these guys that is being used absolutely terrible on Monday night. Or it could be somebody from Friday. It could be somebody from Friday Night SmackDown. How about Daniel Bryan? What about that? Daniel Bryan's contract was up in September, the last that I read, and that was reported everywhere. His contract was up in September, and maybe WWE is trying to keep him on board by giving him a creative role on SmackDown. Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella just had another child, they had a baby boy. Maybe he wants time at home. Maybe he wants to be a family man. Maybe he wants to be a family man and then reevaluate what he wants to do. And maybe he does have a deep desire about possibly going back to the indies when things get up and running again. Maybe he wants to go to AEW. Imagine that. Daniel Bryan could definitely be at the top of this possible list talked about by WrestleVotes. And this superstar has a current deal expiring. He's not coming back. That very well could be Daniel Bryan. What if it's Adam Cole? Adam Cole's contract has been the talk of the town this summer as well. But then again, there were reports that Adam Cole is not a free agent, and he actually re-signed last year with the WWE. In fact, all members of the Undisputed Era again re-signed with the WWE. Could it be Daniel Bryan? Again, I read his contract was up in September. Could he stay with the WWE? Could they sway him to stay? Could they give him the Brock Lesnar schedule to stay with the WWE? We don't know. We don't know. All I know is that they got a story ready and waiting to happen that writes itself for WrestleMania 37. It ain't The Rock versus Roman Reigns. It ain't Big E versus Roman Reigns. Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal title is the ultimate main event for WrestleMania, wherever that show takes place. So I hope for that case, for that situation, Daniel Bryan stays with the WWE, because that has been something that I personally have had major interest in seeing for a very long time. Could WrestleVotes be talking about Daniel Bryan? I think we'll find out sooner rather than later. You knew she wasn't going to stay away forever, as Ronda Rousey is now back training in a professional wrestling ring. Get ready for the rowdy one back on Monday Night Raw, or Fox has anything to say about it, on Friday Night SmackDown. Teal Piper, Hot Rod's daughter, the daughter of WWE Hall of Famer Roddy Piper, recently showed off photos of in-ring training with Ronda Rousey as she posted it on her Instagram page. As a result, there's been a lot of talk amongst fans about it and whether this means the former WWE Raw Women's Champion is on her way back to the WWE. Teal Piper shared photos on her Instagram account and noted that she herself has been on the sidelines for the last 6 months since undergoing ACL meniscus reconstruction. Now, believe it or not, Ronda Rousey has her fair share of hatred in the WWE quote-unquote universe. Why? I don't know. At that point, I just think it's blind hatred. In my honest and genuine opinion, I think Ronda Rousey had the best first year out of anybody that I ever recall seeing in my lifetime watching WWE programming. Now, does WWE need Ronda Rousey? The answer is fucking no. They don't need Ronda Rousey. WWE has a lot more problems with the women's division than just bringing in Ronda Rousey to fix it all. Bringing in Ronda Rousey will do nothing for the women's division. It would do absolutely, positively nothing. So spare me the bullshit that if Ronda comes back, all is saved. No. No, it won't be. Ronda is not going to help at all. Do I want to see Ronda Rousey back? I'm very indifferent to that. I don't mind Ronda Rousey, but I do realize that Ronda Rousey really isn't needed right now in WWE. Ronda did everything that was asked of her. She came in, she made the division the best it's ever been. And then when WWE had Ronda Rousey walk away, what did they do with everything that Ronda Rousey built up? They fucking ruined it. It's almost as if Ronda Rousey wasn't even there and all the work that she did was for nothing. They wasted it all. On what? On what? Becky Lynch didn't look better off for it. They feuded Becky Lynch with fucking Lacey Evans after Ronda Rousey went away, and Becky Lynch became a stale champion with no challengers. Nobody that measured up to Ronda Rousey at all. At all. This exposes the larger issue at hand here. WWE doesn't need Ronda Rousey. WWE doesn't need anybody like a Ronda Rousey. What WWE needs to do is do what I've said for the last 4.5 years and fix the fucking division in the way that I've outlined on the show, on the podcast, for 4.5 years. Why would you bring in Ronda Rousey now? What good would that do for anybody? Have you built up anybody for Ronda Rousey to be in the ring with? To make a legitimate opponent out of for Ronda Rousey? What have you done in Ronda Rousey's absence? What? Absolutely nothing. Everybody that you feuded with Ronda Rousey has had a major stake on WWE television. You've built up no new competitors for an possible incoming Ronda Rousey return. Nobody. Everybody that's been on TV since Ronda Rousey was there is still a major part of the women's division, and nobody else has been given an opportunity to grow. Nobody. The only match I would want to see for Ronda Rousey is a one-on-one match with Asuka. That is it. That is the only match that WWE has not explored. And maybe a Bayley match, because Bayley right now, as a heel, has been knocking grand slams out of the park. Bayley never got a major one-on-one program with Ronda Rousey. Everybody else got a major program with Ronda Rousey. Sasha Banks got a major program. Becky Lynch got a major program. Charlotte Flair got a major program. Nia fucking Jax got a major program. Alexa Bliss got a major program with Ronda Rousey. And on what planet would Alexa Bliss make for a solid competition or solid competitor for Ronda Rousey in the women's division? On no planet that exists, ever. And if you think so, you're a blithering idiot. There is absolutely nobody on that roster besides a possible Bayley title match or a feud or Asuka. That is it. But knowing WWE, they'll bring Ronda Rousey back to do the one thing that they were not given the opportunity to do, and that is a second one-on-one match with Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, because you all gotta give to the queen. You gotta do everything for the android queen. So bringing in Ronda Rousey would make absolutely no difference at all to the WWE Women's Division. Or are they going to bring in Ronda Rousey because at that point when Ronda Rousey comes on in, they'll probably be shilling an Evolution 2, and that exposes a bigger issue because they're bringing in Ronda Rousey to sell that show instead of selling that show with the women that you got currently on the roster that didn't need to take a year and a half off because they were tired after all that they did. Give me a break. Maybe Bianca Belair versus Ronda Rousey. That's another interesting aspect for the women's division. Maybe a Tessa Blanchard. If Tessa Blanchard comes on in, maybe Tessa versus Ronda Rousey. The only matches that I think are viable for Ronda is Bayley, and the big one, the major one that everybody wants to see more so than a second Charlotte Flair match, is a one-on-one match with Asuka. Legitimate. That is the real deal. That is the big one. Other than that, I don't know why Ronda Rousey would be brought back outside of public relations and spotlight and publicity and all that other shit. It is desperate times for WWE because at the end of the day, folks, like I always say, they are, especially with the women's division, creatively bankrupt. Speaking of the women's division, this time on Friday Night SmackDown, SmackDown's been parading vignettes of a mystery woman on Friday night. We've seen everything regarding this woman but her face. We've seen her back. We've seen her legs. We've seen her blonde hair. Go figure. Her fur coat. Everything but her face. But thanks to the sleuths on social media, we now know who this mystery woman is. And if you look at the pictures there, it is now revealed to be Carmella. So WWE seems to be repackaging Carmella, and this may be one of the reasons why the announcers have not said anything, as it would be awkward to have Corey Graves speculate on who this is, being that he's currently dating Carmella. Now, fans on social media, like I said, found the photos from Carmella's Instagram, and it's clear that the woman in the vignette has a tattoo on her arm that looks exactly like the one on Carmella's arm. Now, this seems to confirm that there will be a repackaging of Carmella. Oh, man, I can't wait. What did Carmella do when she was there originally? Absolutely nothing. What is going to be the difference if you repackage Carmella this time? The only difference that I see is that her hair is a lot more blonde than it was before. Great. A repackaging of Carmella, who I was never a big fan of anyway. Man, I can't wait to not watch And I can't wait to change the channel to see what Guy Fieri is doing in fucking Flavortown, USA. Great. Chelsea Green's name was rumored as a possibility since she's been scheduled to move up to the main roster, but at this point, all signs are pointing to Carmella on SmackDown. Green may end up as part of Retribution. That was also rumored. She may end up in something completely different on Monday Night Raw. Some people were speculating that this is Vanessa Bourne, that it's Chelsea Green, that it's Emma returning, or possibly Eva Marie coming back to the WWE. Oh my God. Can you imagine Eva Marie back on Friday Night SmackDown, man? If WWE wants to raise my blood pressure anymore, bring Eva Marie back to the WWE. Do you think the women's division is bad? No! Holy shit. So all signs point to Carmella. All signs point to me watching Guy on Food Network every time this blonde, another blonde, is on Friday Night SmackDown. Great. I'll take that hamburger with no pickles, extra cheese, no onions, lettuce, tomato on the side, please. And the fries. I'll take an extra dose of fries, please. And in the final story, guys, Nia Jax trolls a fan who says she can't wrestle. Really now? Nia Jax went on social media to bully, because that's exactly what this is. She tweets this. The fan, by the way, says this. Look, Nia Jax can't wrestle. Pass it on. I find no lies in this tweet. I would love for somebody to please explain to me what is so wrong in this tweet. Nia Jax can't wrestle. No lies detected here, says JD. Nia Jax then, because WWE Superstars all for be a star, right? She says this, I'll let her know, thumbs up emoji. Thanks for allowing me to stay rent-free in your brain though. Smiley face emoji. Have a great day. But folks, if that's not bad enough, look at the 3 tweets that I screen capped right here, man. These are, no question, bots. No doubt about it, bots on Twitter. I don't know what is wrong with these people. I don't know how these people exist. I really don't. Look at these tweets in regard to Nia Jax's tweet to this other schmuck who said Nia Jax can't wrestle. Look at this. And I quote, I think you're amazing, says Marcus Brown. Bro, she ain't gonna fucking suck your dick, all right? Marcus Brown, please. Stop being a simp. Then you got Spooky Kimberly with the pumpkin emoji. I can see why you're spooky just looking at your fucking profile picture. She says, ignore Nia. You are beautiful. And you are perfect inside that ring. And don't let anyone tell you differently. I love you. And you are one of my favorite wrestlers. I love seeing you on TV and doing what you love doing for us. It's amazing. Keep up the good work. I'm speechless. I really am. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. These people have the IQ of this empty, clear American seltzer can. Look, it's got 0 calories, 0 caffeine, and 0 sodium. And Spooky Kimberly has 0 IQ. Then we got Glow for J. Nia Jax can wrestle. Pass it on. Oh, man. Jesus, I heard some funny shit, man. I heard some funny shit on Twitter, man. That's gotta fucking be the tip of the fucking mountain on social media. Are you fucking serious? Nia Jax can wrestle? When she learns to wrestle, you let me know. Because I haven't seen anything as far as professional wrestling goes from Nia Jax. Maybe she's wrestling to get in line in fucking catering, but not in the ring. Maybe we should ask Titus what her number is in fucking line. I have a better chance of being hired by Vince McMahon to be the lead commentator on Monday Night Raw than Nia Jax has on putting on a good wrestling match. Here, I found this picture of Nia Jax giving everybody the middle finger. That's exactly what I think of her fucking fan base, man. I'm getting the hell out of here. Oh, man. Jesus Christ, man. The simps and the super fans, the super stans on social media, man. Have you seen anything as pathetic as the fan bases of the women in WWE, man? I'm JD. Hit that thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. If you missed any other content on the channel, everything you need is linked down below in the description. Guys, I'll see you tonight for AEW Dynamite. Will I be with Jesse? I don't know. If not, I'll be live, no question, for AEW Dynamite tonight on TNT, right here on Off The Script. See you guys then. Nia Jax can wrestle.